The dehumanizing discourse of migration in Australian politics, a looming election threat. Australia's upcoming election is casting a long shadow, and the rhetoric surrounding migration is increasingly ominous. Leading voices are sounding the alarm, warning against the dangerous trend of dehumanizing migrants for political gain. This isn't merely a political spat, it's a matter of fundamental human rights and social cohesion. The current climate risks fostering division and resentment, with potentially devastating consequences for both migrants and the broader Australian community. Giridharan Sivaraman, a prominent figure, adds Sivaraman's credentials position here, e.g., human rights advocate, academic, has issued a stark warning. Politicians from all sides must cease the dehumanizing portrayal of migrants in the lead-up to the election. His call echoes the growing concern among community groups and independent voices who see a dangerous pattern emerging. The debate, far from being a nuanced discussion of policy, is descending into a scapegoating exercise, using migrants as a convenient target for complex societal problems. The coalition, in particular, has drawn a direct and inflammatory link between migration and the current housing crisis. This simplistic narrative, critics argue, ignores the multifaceted nature of the issue, a complex interplay of supply and demand, economic factors, and historical planning decisions. By focusing solely on migration as the culprit, the coalition risks obscuring the real challenges and hindering the development of effective solutions. Peter Dutton, a key figure in this debate, has explicitly stated the coalition's intention to cut immigration, citing Labour's immigration policies as the root cause of the housing crisis. His statements, echoed by Shadow Treasurer Angus Taylor, repeatedly highlight the number of migrants entering the country, framing it as an overwhelming burden on resources. These assertions, devoid of any meaningful context or analysis of the economic contributions of migrants, serve only to fuel anti-migrant sentiment. Labour, while seemingly distancing itself from such overtly hostile rhetoric, hasn't escaped criticism entirely. Independent Senator David Pocock and Greens Senator Mehreen Faruqi have accused the party of scapegoating international students in relation to the housing crisis. This suggests a broader problem, the tendency to use migrants as a political football, regardless of party affiliation. Immigration Minister Tony Burke has attempted to deflect criticism, highlighting the coalition's refusal to support government legislation capping the number of international students. While this points to a lack of bipartisan cooperation, it doesn't address the underlying issue of the increasingly hostile rhetoric surrounding migration. The debate has morphed into a blame game, hindering any meaningful progress towards comprehensive solutions. The broader anti-migration sentiment extends beyond the housing crisis. Recent parliamentary discussions reveal calls for a referendum to grant politicians the power to deport criminal dual citizens and to alter the citizenship test to incorporate questions on antisemitism. These proposals, critics argue, are overtly discriminatory and exploit existing racial tensions. The Australian National Imams Council, for instance, has branded the timing of these proposals as opportunistic, suggesting a cynical attempt to mobilize anti-migrant sentiment for political gain. The consequences of this dehumanizing discourse are far-reaching. Last year, Peter Dutton's controversial Palestinian visa ban faced accusations of racism from independent MP Zali Steggall. While Dutton vehemently denied the accusation, the incident highlights the volatile nature of the debate and the ease with which accusations of racism can arise. The withdrawal of Steggall's comment, albeit to assist the House, doesn't erase the underlying concerns about the divisive nature of the language used. The current climate demands a decisive shift in tone and approach. The simplistic, fear-mongering narratives surrounding migration must be replaced by a more nuanced and fact-based discussion. Community groups and human rights advocates are urging politicians to focus on constructive solutions to the housing crisis and other related challenges, rather than scapegoating vulnerable populations. The election should be a platform for fostering unity and understanding, not for dividing the nation along lines of nationality and ethnicity. The future of Australia's social fabric depends on a responsible and humane approach to the issue of migration. Ignoring the warnings of those who advocate for a more compassionate discourse will only exacerbate existing tensions and contribute to a climate of fear and intolerance. The time for meaningful action is now. The well-being of migrants and the future of Australia's social cohesion are at stake.